Hey everyone, it's Ashley, and today I'm going to show you how to do jams on your toes. I'm really uncomfortable with this video because I'm feeling very vulnerable because there's no real good camera angle to show toes, but I think it's a really good thing to show you because if you do it right and you get all of your cuticles and stuff removed, they will last up to 6 weeks, sometimes longer on your toes. And many of you probably have jams at home that you don't know really what to do with, the bigger sizes and stuff like that. So I want to show you how to do that. So bear with me if it looks kind of uncomfortable, because yeah, I mean, it's toes, right? And you'll also notice that I don't need any of these guys because I don't have anything that's going to be drying, and I hate these guys. They're so uncomfortable. So it's a super big bonus for me to do wraps on my toes. And so yeah, hope you'll enjoy. The first step is to remove your cuticles. I use a cuticle remover pen and then a cuticle remover pusher. Sometimes I trim off the excess as well, but if you do this, make sure you're really careful not to cut yourself, and make sure your tools are clean. And then swab off with alcohol or a cleansing pad. So this is the sheet that I'm going to use on my toes. I've done it before just with one toe, and this works really well because when you cut these into pieces, different toes are going to be different colors just by the nature of what the wrap looks like. And you're only going to use these top two wraps. Now, just like your fingers, you may have to size down or up depending on the size of your toes, but I'm going to show you how to cut these so that you're really only using these top two to fit all of your 10 toes. Some people really like to use Jam Juniors for their toes, and maybe even these smaller sizes. I've never tried it actually because I don't have any juniors. I also just feel like I've bought all these wraps and I'm only going to use probably these down on my fingers, so why not use these? But if you love juniors, do it. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. So I'm going to cut these off. That's the only two that I'm going to use. Set aside. And I know that on my pinkies, on my big toes, I only need this size. So this size is going to be cut in half for my two big toes. This other one, the very biggest size of wrap that we have on our normal standard size sheet, I'm going to cut in 8s. So I'm going to cut each side in quarters, and I'll show you what they look like in just a second. So when it's done, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm going to have these 4 little pieces from each side. See that? Also notice that in this particular wrap, I'm going to have 2 pink toes and 2 aqua toes. That's the beauty of this particular wrap for toes. So the first thing I'm going to do is do my big toe. I'm going to take the big piece that I have left, that second to largest wrap on my sheet, and heat it up 1, 2, 3. Put it on my big toe and make sure it's nice and pushed down and heated just like I would put on any one on my finger. Alright, so you may be thinking, yeah, Ashley, that looks easy, but that's the big toe. You're right. Now it's time for the little ones. It's not hard, but you still have to kind of work with it a little bit. I'm going to pick this one, this little piece of pink, and it's pretty square. I don't know if you can see, but my toe is not as square as this wrap is. You see? And so I'm going to get my cuticle scissors, and I'm just gonna sort of trim up the edges so that it's a little rounder and may fit my toe just a little better. Even that little change of nipping the corners so that it's just a little rounder is going to help my toe in this particular situation. I'm also finding that it's a little big on one side, so I'm going to trim that down as well. Because just like your fingers, you don't want anything touching the cuticle or the skin. So alright, so I've trimmed this up. It kind of looks like this now. See that? Same process. I'm going to find the corner with my tweezers. So you'll notice that I'm going to apply with pressure, heat up just the same way that I did with my big toe, and I had to move it because it didn't fit after I trimmed it. So you'll see that it's not as much of a exact science as it is maybe for your fingers. But either way, I've got two toes done. So these are fit, and I'm going to keep going with the others. I'm just repeating the process with all of the other toes, making sure that they're trimmed. And if there's something hanging over the cuticle or the side where it's touching the skin, I'm going to take my cuticle scissors and just trim that off to make sure that it fits correctly. Okay, so here is what they look like. All the wraps are on. You'll notice they're hanging off like I have fake nails or something on my foot. So now I'm going to take my clippers and I'm going to clip the wrap and the nail together, and that's really going to seal in that wrap. This is a great trick for your fingers too, especially if you keep your nails short. Okay, that's the final product of my feet. Now they need cuticle oil and all that just like your hands do, but there you have it. A couple more pointers to tell you. First of all, I almost always eventually lose the wrap on my pinky toe. I used to be a ballet dancer, and so my pinky toes are kind of a little strange looking because of the point shoes. I'm hoping that's it anyway. It's very common for me anyway to lose that wrap, but the other 9 tend to stay really well, and so what I typically do is just paint that one. So just a little pointer, if you lose one, I wouldn't personally take them all off. I'd probably just paint the other and call it a day. But you may lose one, or if you have a pair of shoes that rubs your toe or something, it may rub the wrap off. But in general, I've had really good luck 90% of the time with my wraps staying on. Just like that. And it's worth noting that if you have short fingernails or you like to keep your manis short, that snip technique with your clippers would work for that too, and you don't have to worry about filing if the file isn't giving you the seal that you want. Okay, so comment below if you have questions, and make me feel better about my feet, and post your petties in the bottom. Okay, bye-bye.